What would you do if a cop suddenly blasted a flashlight through your window and stared into your car like they already found something? That moment feels small, but it can turn into a full search fast. One nervous sentence from you can give them the opening they wanted. Before I reveal the exact words, hit subscribe so you can find this video again when you need it on a real roadside stop. Tap like too, because this could help you keep a bad night from getting much worse. When that light hits your seat, your floorboard, your console, or the back seat, your brain starts racing. You think the officer already saw something bad. You think you need to explain everything fast. You think silence will make you look guilty. That is where people lose control. Today, you're going to learn the exact lines that stop that spiral. You're going to learn what to say when an officer shines a light into your car, what not to say when they ask about an item they spotted, how to shut down the fake casual search request, and how to tell when the stop is being stretched into something bigger. I've analyzed over 200 body cam videos. The same mistakes keep showing up. Drivers talked too much. Drivers try to sound innocent. Drivers explain objects no one even asked about yet, and then the officer starts digging. If you stay calm and use short, clear words, you make that job much harder. Now let's talk about why this moment is so dangerous. A flashlight feels harmless. It feels like the officer is just looking. Sometimes that's true. Sometimes it's the first step toward getting you to volunteer a reason to search. They shine the light, they pause, they stare at one corner of your car, then they wait for you to start talking. If you say that bag isn't mine, or I forgot that was there, or it's nothing bad, you just move the stop forward for them. Most people have no idea that officers are trained to notice fear, silence, movement, and over-explaining. The light is not always the real move. Your reaction is. That's why this video matters. You do not need to win a debate. You do not need to act tough. You need to avoid making the stop easier for them. The first tactic is simple, and it starts the second that flashlight hits your car. Do not explain what they're looking at, and do not give consent just because the officer sounds casual. Here's exactly what you say. Officer, I do not consent to any searches. Word for word, memorize that line. If the officer says, I'm just taking a quick look, you use the same line. If the officer says, you don't mind if I check that area, right? Same line again. Officer, I do not consent to any searches. Why is this so powerful? Because the moment the officer sees something interesting with a flashlight, the next goal is often to turn that interest into legal access. That access usually comes from one of three places: consent, probable cause, or some other exception. You cannot control what the officer claims they saw, but you can control whether you hand over consent. In Schneckloth v. Bustamonte, the Supreme Court said police do not have to tell you that you're allowed to refuse a search, plain English. They do not have to warn you that saying yes gives up protection. That is why your answer has to be clear and fast. Here's the trick they don't want you knowing. A flashlight itself does not magically make a search illegal. In Texas v. Brown, the Supreme Court said an officer shining a flashlight into a car and seeing something in plain view is generally not the same as an illegal search, plain English. If it can be seen from a place the officer is lawfully standing, the light does not erase that, so don't waste your energy yelling, you can't shine that light in here. That argument usually goes nowhere. The better move is to stop the next step. The next step is consent. Bad way, most drivers say, sure, I've got nothing to hide. Then the officer opens the door, moves items around, and the whole stop gets bigger. Good way, smart drivers say, officer, I do not consent to any searches. Then the officer has to find some other legal reason instead of using your permission. Defense attorneys use this exact line in court. It works because it is clean, respectful, and hard to twist later. You are not fighting, you are not resisting, you are not grabbing anything. You are simply refusing permission. This is 100% legal. Former police officers have confirmed this works because consent is the easiest road into your car. If that road closes, the officer has to work a lot harder. Now think about what happens if you forget this. The officer shines the light on a backpack. You panic. You say, it's just clothes. You can check. Now that bag is open. Then they see something else. Then they ask another question. Then they move to the console. Then the stop becomes a hunt. You may think you're helping yourself by cooperating. Sometimes you are just helping the search grow. Here's the reality. The less you volunteer, the less the officer can build from your own mouth. And when the video gets reviewed later, the difference between I do not consent and go ahead is massive. Still watching? Good. Drop a like if you've ever felt that panic when a flashlight starts sweeping across your seats. The second tactic is what you do when the officer spots an item and starts fishing with questions. This is the moment they point at something and say, what's that? Or why is that under your seat? Or whose bag is that? Your brain wants to fix the situation fast. Don't do it. Here's exactly what you say. I'm choosing to remain silent. That's short. That's clear. That's repeatable. If the questions keep coming, say it again. I'm choosing to remain silent. Listen closely because this is critical. A lot of people think silence means sitting there awkwardly and hoping the officer gets the hint. That is not enough. If the officer keeps asking questions and you finally answer one, that one answer can become the star of the whole report. That is why you need to say the words out loud. In Berghuis v. Thompkins, the Supreme Court made clear that you need to clearly invoke your right to stay silent, plain English. You can't just kind of be quiet and expect protection to magically appear. You say it, then you live it. That way, most drivers say, "That's my friend's bag, but I don't know what's inside." Then the officer hears ownership, distance, fear, and possible guilt all in one sentence. Good way. Smart drivers say, "I'm choosing to remain silent." Then the officer stops getting free details to build from. Watch what happens when drivers try to explain objects seen in the car. They do not make the scene smaller, they make it bigger. The officer asks one question about a bottle, a bag, a tool, a rolled up shirt, or a locked case. The driver gives a long answer. Then the officer notices a mismatch, or hears uncertainty, or senses fear. And now the officer thinks there is more to find. Legal experts agree this is your strongest protection when the stop shifts from traffic issue to evidence hunt. This part is hard because you will feel rude. You will feel like silence makes you look suspicious. But your job is not to sound innocent. Your job is to stop feeding the stop. Let me show you exactly how this sounds in real life. Officer says, "What's in that backpack?" You say, "I'm choosing to remain silent." Officer says, "If it's nothing bad, just tell me." You say, "I'm choosing to remain silent." Officer says, "Why are you nervous?" Same answer, short, calm, boring. Here's the reality. Innocent people talk themselves into trouble all the time. They guess, they mix up small details, they volunteer stories that sound strange out of context. Then those words get replayed later as proof of guilt. This comes straight from Supreme Court rulings about silence and consent. You protect yourself best when you stop trying to talk your way out of pressure. If the officer lawfully saw something with the flashlight, your explanation will not erase what they saw. But your explanation can absolutely make things worse. And no, this does not mean yelling "lawyer" every 2 seconds during a normal ticket. It means once the questioning turns into a probe about objects, ownership, drugs, weapons, or anything criminal, you stop chatting and start protecting yourself. That one shift changes everything. The third tactic is how you stop the officer from stretching the stop just to keep working the flashlight angle. This happens after the license check, after the warning or ticket should be done, or during weird extra conversation that keeps circling back to what's in your car. Here's exactly what you say. "Am I being detained or am I free to leave?" Those exact words. Keep them calm, keep them flat, no attitude, no speech after. Why does this matter? Because once the traffic job is done, the officer cannot keep holding you there just to poke around for more evidence without more legal reason. In Rodriguez v. United States, the Supreme Court said a traffic stop becomes unlawful if it is prolonged beyond the time reasonably needed to handle the traffic mission. Plain English. They do not get endless extra minutes to investigate just because they're curious. If the warning is done, your papers are back, and the officer keeps hanging around asking about what the flashlight showed, you need clarity fast. Bad way, most drivers say, yeah, I can wait, what's going on? Then the stop keeps dragging while the officer keeps building a case. Good way, smart drivers say, "Am I being detained or am I free to leave?" Then the officer has to either end the stop or own the fact that you're still being held. This matters more than people realize. Officers often use relaxed language right here. "Hang tight. One more question. Mind waiting a second? That feels harmless." But those little extra moments are where consent requests, dog sniffs, and more questioning often appear. Let me show you exactly what the smart version looks like. The officer hands back your documents, then pauses, then says, "Before you go, can I ask you something?" You say, "Am I being detained or am I free to leave?" If the answer is free to leave, leave. Calmly. No speech, no side joke, no extra explanation. If the answer is detained, then you stop talking and keep your rights tight. I need to say something important here. If the officer gives you a lawful order, you obey it. If the officer says stay put because you are being detained, do not drive off. But make them say what is happening. Make the stop clear. That clarity protects you. It also keeps you from accidentally agreeing to a voluntary conversation that turns into a search request 3 seconds later. Watch what happens when drivers never ask this question. The stop becomes foggy, the officer keeps control of time, the driver keeps hoping cooperation will end it. Sometimes it does, sometimes it opens the worst part of the night. If you've made it this far, you're serious about protecting your rights. Show me by hitting that like button, because the next tactic is the one people mess up right after they're told to step out. The fourth tactic is what you do when the officer uses the flashlight sweep to justify getting you out of the car and closer to the search. This part scares people. The officer says, "Step out for me." Now your heart jumps. You think refusing will protect you. Usually that is the wrong move. In Pennsylvania v. Mimms, the Supreme Court said officers can generally order a driver out of a lawfully stopped car. Plain English. If the stop was lawful, you usually do need to step out when ordered. But here is the key. Stepping out is not the same as agreeing to a search. Here's exactly what you say. I will comply, but I do not consent to any searches. That sentence is clean and powerful. You obey the order, you refuse permission, you do both at once. Bad way, most drivers say, why are you doing this? You can't do that. Then the stop gets tense and the officer focuses on your behavior too. Good way. Smart drivers say, I will comply, but I do not consent to any searches. Then they follow the order while protecting the record. This is 100% legal. You are not resisting. You are not touching the officer. You are not blocking the door. You are making your position clear. If the officer asks to search your pockets, your bag, or your car after you step out, use the same line again. I do not consent to any searches. If they pat you down anyway, do not fight. Just keep your words clean and calm. Former police officers have confirmed this works because it separates compliance from permission. That difference can matter a lot later. There's another case you should know in simple form. In Knowles v. Iowa, the Supreme Court said giving a traffic ticket does not automatically let police do a full search of your car, plain English. A basic ticket is not a free pass to tear through your vehicle. So if the officer shines a light, writes a ticket, and then starts acting like the search is just automatic, don't help that happen with your own words. So put the whole legal picture together. Texas v. Brown means a flashlight alone does not make an officer's view illegal if they are standing where they are allowed to stand. Schneckloth v. Bustamonte means they do not have to warn you that you can refuse consent. Rodriguez v. United States means they cannot drag the stop out forever just to investigate more. Pennsylvania v. Mimms means they can usually tell you to get out of the car during a lawful stop. Knowles v. Iowa means a traffic ticket alone does not equal a free search. In plain English, the winning move is not arguing about the flashlight. The winning move is controlling your words after the flashlight comes on. Now let's run the real roadside scene. You're driving home at night, lights flash behind you, you pull over. The officer walks up, takes your documents, and then suddenly starts sweeping a flashlight over your seats, floorboard, center console, and back seat. Wrong way first. You start talking right away. That bag's my gym stuff. That bottle is old. You can look if you want. The officer hears nerves. He asks who owns the backpack. You answer fast. He asks what's in the console. You answer again. He gives your license back, then says, hang on 1 second. You wait without asking anything. Then he asks to search. You say yes because you think no will make you look guilty. Now the stop is fully open. Now the right way. You pull over safely, hands visible, calm voice. You give the required documents. The flashlight comes on. You do not narrate your car. The officer asks to look inside the bag. You say, officer, I do not consent to any searches. The officer asks what's inside. You say, I'm choosing to remain silent. The officer hands back your papers, then lingers. You ask, am I being detained or am I free to leave? If free, you leave. If detained, you stay calm and stop talking. If the officer tells you to step out, you say, I will comply, but I do not consent to any searches. Watch what happens. The stop stays tighter. The officer gets fewer openings. The video record gets cleaner and you stop turning fear into free evidence. Next week, I'm dropping the phone search video and the exact words to use when police ask, mind if I check your device? Subscribe right now or you'll miss the tactic that can protect everything in your digital life. So lock this in tonight. Don't argue about the flashlight itself. Refuse consent clearly. Stop explaining items the officer noticed. Ask if you're free to leave when the stop drifts. And if you're ordered out, comply without giving permission. Those few lines can change the whole direction of the stop. When you know them ahead of time, you won't panic and start improvising. Hit subscribe so you catch that phone search video next week. Smash that like button if this just gave you a real plan. And drop a comment telling me which exact line you're going to memorize first. Stay safe out there.